will it kickstart? Like, will it really kickstart? And I'm talking about bigger money, do you know what I mean? More prize money. Like, when you think of even sort of transfer fees, Pernille Harder is still the highest transfer fee, and that was like $250,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy when you think about it. Wolfsburg to Chelsea. Do you think it's all just going to start growing now?
See, I'm more of a realist as well, and I'm just really happy of where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen a lot of the comparisons with equal pay, and I think what people have to understand, the US Women's National Team, they've been going on for about 10 years trying to get equal pay, and they thankfully have it now. And I think US soccer are very clever because the men don't win, and the women do. So if they have these bonuses for the men, you know, I'm not saying they're never going to win, but realistically they won't. Whereas the US Women's National Team, born winners, they'd end up with no money, US soccer, if they gave them the same, but now they do. I think, for me, it's all about revenue and it's about how much money you bring in. I think we're showing now that we do that. I mean, the game against England, America, in next month, it is sold out in 10 minutes.
Can you get me a ticket?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's on camera. Just to get me a ticket, okay.
They're actually inviting us to the game, all the former Lionesses that ever played, which I think is really nice.
That's really nice.
That they're taking us. But I'm so happy with where the game is at.
Yeah.
And I've always said, people laugh when I say this, right? I've said it many times. You know me, I love Beyonce. I don't just go and stand at Wembley or the O2 hoping she's going to turn up. I go because it's advertised that she's coming.
Good show.
This year,
It's
been advertised. It's on the TV, it's on the radio. The girls are on billboards coming under Tower Bridge. No longer are the days where I walk around with my Arsenal tracksuit and we're walking around in and around Boreham Wood and people say, have you got a game today? Because they don't know about it. They want to come. They don't know anything about it. Hopefully this is where the game can kickstart and people need to, I mean, they've already sold 30,000 for the game at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Tottenham, North London derby. So hopefully, you know, it can continue, the game keeps progressing, the revenue comes in, and I think now it's seen as a really cool thing to be involved in the women's game. I mean, we laugh about the ticket request, but I had more ticket requests for that game than ever before. I mean, people ask me for Super Bowl tickets, which is ridiculous, and I think, do you really think I can even get them if I could?
I can hook that up.
If I could, would I really give them to you, though?
I can hook that
People are funny, though, isn't it?
Like,
we get Super Bowl tickets.
Ticket,
But yeah, I mean, the ticket request for that game, it shows you where the women's game is at and the fan base and how nice it is. And I think that's something to be said as well. Because last year at Wembley in the European final, it was awful, the atmosphere. Like, people coming in drunk, you know, people didn't feel like they could take their kids. Whereas now, all the season tickets are sold out at Manchester United women. And hopefully that can continue.
I'm happy you quickly mentioned, sorry to cut across you, when you mentioned Man United women, obviously they've only just recently set up their ladies' side. Do you think the two biggest clubs in this country, Man United and Liverpool, need to do a lot more? I think Liverpool. I know Liverpool now in the WSL, but
Liverpool definitely, and I think Jurgen Klopp touched upon it this year, and you know, and he spoke about that, and he said last time they didn't really do as much as they should have, and I think you have to give people an opportunity to make things better, and I think obviously Liverpool women won the league 2 years in a row, and then they got cut all their money, and unfortunately when the men get relegated, for example, not the Liverpool did, and you never will, don't worry, it's not as if like when the first cut is the women's team. So whenever I played in Europe, anytime the men lose money, we get cut. We'll lose players, you'll lose money, that's just the way it is. Whereas I think now it's no longer that way anymore. I think the women's game is something that people see, like businessmen, businesswomen want to be involved in the women's game because they see, I've seen people that were pundits that are now saying to me, oh, I want to get in the women's game based upon the Euros. No one was wanting to really be in the women's game before it, were they? Wasn't seen as like a cool thing, whereas now people want to be in amongst it and hopefully that can continue.
You know who helped it? Uncle Righty.
Yeah. 100%.
Uncle Righty, eh?
Absolutely, before anybody was involved.
Uncle Righty was involved.
And that's what we need, though. We needed people like Ian Wright. We need people like that. And fair play to him, because he put himself out there. He didn't even think he was, and he is. And people respect Ian Wright. So therefore, it does help having people like that, an advocate, and you know, David Beckham being at the games and talking about it and that kind of thing. But I think the game's progressed, and hopefully it will continue. And the visibility and the games being on DAZN. I mean, even Ada Hegerberg said herself, thank you to DAZN for everything you've done for this season.
Fantastic.
And this is one of the best players in the world that recognises that the fact that the games are on the telly
so important
for their families to even watch. Like, it's so impactful, and hopefully that can continue.
And people like yourself as well, Lianne. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Andy. Cheers.